There's this strange moment that happens before most students give up. You're not tired yet, you're not distracted yet, you haven't failed yet. You're just sitting there, waiting for something inside you to switch on. And when it doesn't, you assume the problem is you. But the problem isn't effort, it's how big the effort feels before it even begins. That's what the Japanese 1% rule is built around. The rule is simple. Instead of trying to improve your situation all at once, you improve it by 1%. Not metaphorically, literally. You lower the task until your brain no longer sees it as a threat. Because the brain doesn't resist work, it resists cost. When something feels expensive mentally, emotionally, or energetically, the brain delays. Not loudly, quietly. That's why big study plans collapse so easily. Study for 3 hours, finish the whole chapter, catch up on everything. Those goals sound reasonable, but to the brain, they sound risky. The 1% rule avoids this by never asking for a big decision. Step 1. Shrink the task until resistance disappears. This is the most important step, and most people do it wrong. They shrink the task logically, not emotionally. Reading 5 pages might sound small. To your brain, it's still work. 1 paragraph feels different. 1 sentence feels harmless. The correct size is whatever action makes your brain stop arguing. Open the book, write the title, highlight 1 line. If your brain says, okay, you've gone small enough. If it says, you haven't. That's the rule. Step 2. Remove commitment entirely. This part feels counterintuitive. You are not promising to continue. No timers, no expectations, no just 5 minutes. The brain hates traps. The moment it senses commitment, resistance comes back. So you tell yourself the truth. I'm allowed to stop after this. That honesty lowers pressure, and pressure is what blocks starting. Once the brain feels safe, action becomes possible. Step 3. Start before motivation appears. This is where most students get it backwards. They wait to feel ready, they wait to feel focused, they wait to feel confident. But the brain doesn't give motivation in advance, it gives it after engagement begins. Once you start, even clumsily, your brain shifts mode. Avoidance quiets down, attention stabilizes, dopamine increases slightly. Not because studying is fun, but because progress is happening. That chemical shift is why continuing suddenly feels easier than stopping. Step 4. Stop while it still feels okay. This is what separates the 1% rule from burnout culture. You don't push until exhaustion, you stop early. You leave the session feeling unfinished but not drained. That matters, because the brain remembers emotional endings more than effort. If studying ends in fatigue, the brain avoids it next time. If it ends calmly, the brain is willing to return. This is why consistency forms without force. Step 5. Let identity update itself. This part happens quietly. Every time you start, no matter how small, the brain records evidence. Not thoughts, not intentions, actions. One start doesn't change identity. Repeated starts do. Slowly, the internal story shifts from I'm lazy to I start things. That identity change reduces resistance automatically. You don't need to hype yourself up. The brain stops fighting you. This is how the 1% improvements compound. Not just in knowledge, but in trust between you and your brain. Over time, tasks that once felt heavy feel neutral. Neutral tasks are easy to repeat. Repeated tasks become habits, and habits don't require motivation. The Japanese 1% rule isn't about discipline, it's about lowering friction. It assumes motivation will fluctuate, energy will dip, attention will wander. And instead of fighting those facts, it works around them. That's why it works especially well for students who feel lazy. Not because they're lazy, but because they've been fighting their brain instead of cooperating with it. So if you're stuck, don't try to fix everything tonight. Fix the starting point. 1 sentence, 1 equation, 1 page title. Then stop if you want. Because once starting feels safe, progress stops feeling impossible. And that's how the 1% rule quietly turns lazy students into consistent ones, without pressure, without guilt, and without burning out.